So we know who didn't make it. The Lions, the Vikings, they are certainly disappointing in the NFC. In the AFC, the Chiefs and whomever loses in the AFC North, disappointing. The Bengals. I mean, like, there are a lot of teams that let us down this year. So this is like this is an airing of grievances. What was George Costanza's dad's name? Was it Ned? Is it Ned Costanza?
Yeah.
Frank Costanza.
I should have known that.
Okay.
Yes.
Jerry Stiller, Frank Costanza. All right, may he rest in peace. The airing of grievances. Charles, you go first. Who has let you down the most this year?
Yeah, look, when you go back and you look at the Super Bowl favorites, some people are going to say, it's the Chiefs or it's, the Ravens if they don't make it in. It's the Detroit Lions. I think when you look at the Detroit Lions and in the micro where you're like, okay, this is happening again with all these injuries. Why can't they keep guys healthy over the expanse of the season, particularly on defense? But then they play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right. Niners overcame it. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers game and you're like, all of a sudden you can't run the football. You can't run the football at all. Jared Goff is turning the ball over left and right. You just suffer a complete collapse at home in an absolute have-to-have-it game. That to me, that team, the Lions, I don't think have really ever recovered since the NFC title game loss. I know they went 15-2 in 2024, completely gassed. They get throttled by the Washington Commanders last year as the number one seed in the NFC. And I feel like that was just part of the descent from that NFC title game. This was supposed to be the season, even with the loss of the coordinators, where if they were going to get it back together and get themselves onto a consistent track, they were going to show up this season. They still had all the talent on the field. I think the talent actually got better in the offseason. And yet what happens? You flop your way completely out of the playoffs, and you do it in a game where you can't lose to that Pittsburgh Steelers team that now just loses 13-6 to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it's just, I don't know that there's a more disappointing situation than in Detroit. And I think it's going to be a very, very interesting offseason in terms of Jared Goff. I think some of the contract extensions they still have to sign with other players, and also that coaching staff. I think you're going to see some change in Detroit.
Yeah, the thing about the Lions, though, I can see them bouncing back. I mean, their metrics are really good. They just record stinks. I still think they can bounce back.
Great players, right.
They do. They have a lot of talent. So I'm not giving up on them for 2026, but definitely disappointing. Obviously, I could have picked the Ravens. I could have picked the Chiefs. Like those are clearly good answers. But I'm going a little different direction. I watched this Vikings team. They're 8-8, and they have the second worst passer rating in the NFL, 74.3. And you just wonder, what if you would have did a U-turn at quarterback? What if you would have brought back Sam Darnold? What if you would have kept on Daniel Jones? We didn't expect J.J. McCarthy to be this bad, but he has been. Carson Wentz wasn't great. Max Brosmer, really bad. I had 3 net passing yards and a win over the Lions. It almost made me more frustrated with the Vikings of like, if you could just have an average, we could see the defense is awesome. You still got Justin Jefferson, who's having a lost season, Jordan Addison, all these guys. You have a playoff team. They went 14-3 last year, but your quarterback position is so bad that you're fighting to just get above 500. And by the way, if they get to 9-8 with that quarterback situation, A, it's a pretty good accomplishment, and B, it just highlights how much more this team could have been this season. This could have been another 12-win season for the Vikings with just mediocre quarterback play. They didn't get it. Now, the one thing you could point to is in 2023, the Colts won 8 games. They had the second worst passer rating in the NFL. Come back, fix the quarterback situation, start the season 7-1. I know it didn't last that long and it didn't turn out well, but if you're the Vikings, you sit there and say, everything's still in place from that 14-3 team, except the quarterback. We got to figure that out somehow. Easier said than done, I guess. But right now, the Vikings have to be looking and saying, we just wasted a season where we had a championship level defense and a good enough team around everybody to at least be in the playoffs.
So I got a note here on the Colts. You mentioned them, and the Colts are not going to be my answer. My answer is the Bengals, but I toyed with it for a while about going with the Colts. Listen, the injuries happened, and with Daniel Jones getting hurt, they totally fell apart. The Phillip Rivers thing was a great story. Sadly, it's probably coming to an end. It was totally worth it. The journey was worth it there for Phillip Rivers, and he was adamant about that after the game yesterday. So this is from The Athletic today. Since the merger, whenever we say that, friends, that means 1970, AFL-NFL merger. Since the merger, only 5 teams had won 7 of 8 to open a season, 7-1, and then gone on to miss the playoffs. The Colts became the 6th. So in week 10, according to The Athletic and their playoff simulator, the New York Times owned Athletic, the Colts' chances of making the playoffs 98%. 98.
Wow.
We sat here talking about the road to the Super Bowl going through Lucas Oil. Like they might have the AFC Championship game and then tear that thing down and get ready for the Combine a couple of weeks later. Now the Colts are without a spot in the postseason for the 5th consecutive year. And I do think, look, I was the one 3 weeks ago who, sitting in this chair, said, are you an idiot if you think Shane Steichen's in trouble? And I don't think he is at all. However, you do have a new owner. Jim Irsay is gone. His daughter, Carly, has taken over, and no one has any idea what she will do, how her decision-making process will go, because she is new to the job. So there is an unknown there. Chris Ballard, I think, is a very good GM, and I think that with Daniel Jones playing well, you saw all the height, weight, speed guys that he drafted. You saw them unlocked, right? Much like Micah Parsons did that for all the guys on the defensive side of the ball. The Brian Gutekunst had drafted in Green Bay. Daniel Jones did that to all the guys offensively that Chris Ballard had drafted. And you're like, all right, they're the guys that we thought they were going to be. So I don't think Chris Ballard is in trouble, but is he GM for life? Does he have tenure? No one knows what's going to happen there. I didn't choose the Colts because it was an injury. I chose the Bengals, not because I'm piling on because I'm the Browns guy, but because I remember week 1. And I remember that the Bengals spent their entire offseason. They rearranged the way they train, what time they do things, how they do things. They spent money on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and eventually they brought back Trey Hendrickson, although he wasn't happy with how the deal went down, and he missed the entire camp and preseason. But they brought these pieces back, and they were so certain it was going to be different. They weren't going to be 0-2 out of the gate. No. This team was going to win out of the gate, and they did win week 1. But talking to some Bengals people before that first game, they were confident, and everybody is confident week 1. But they were, I mean, there was no way the Browns could possibly beat them. I'll tell you right now, the Browns were the better team week 1. They held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half in the opener. 7. The Bengals won to their credit. But I got out of there going, this team's not that good. I don't think they're that good. And then Joe Burrow got hurt, and then we found out they weren't that good. And it's disappointing, not for me, but to their fans. Because, and you see it on Joe Burrow's face the last couple of weeks, and we've overanalyzed it and psychoanalyzed it and taken a deep dive into what's gone wrong in this man's head. Well, they've been losing. That's what's gone wrong. He got hurt. And if he does not get hurt, it's a different conversation. But he's had trouble staying healthy. And that is the story there. And Zach Taylor was passionately defending the team's defense and all the young players and the strides they have made under first-year coordinator Al Golden since their bye week and how they've been much better of late. Okay, I get it. But the Bengals are going to have some hard conversations in the offseason because they did that last offseason and it didn't work. So what now? I think they are at a crossroads. I think their phone will ring. Teams are going to try to get Burrow. They won't trade him. Like Mike Brown would rather tell Joe Burrow, go sit on an Orange County, California couch with Carson Palmer than ever trade him. But they to me are one of the more disappointing teams in the league.
Yeah,
Nods.
I mean, you look and Zach Taylor. Why? No, I'm sitting here thinking like,
we're just in stunned silence, like, oh my God, he just buried the Bengals. It's like it's over.
I just wonder. You so saying all that makes me wonder.
It just didn't work. Joe got hurt.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And we're left to wonder if he didn't get hurt.
But it's not just
would
Joe
it have
getting
all
hurt.
worked?
It's not just. I wonder why Zach Taylor's so safe. I do. I wonder why. Like, why? What's he done? You lose him. You lose. Maybe not. I don't know. But you lose. You don't make the playoffs 3 straight years in Joe Burrow's prime. I don't know. I don't know if it's working there anymore.
I mean, Paul Danner.
I just would like to see
covers that
Burrow,
team.
Like, is he going to be healthy? Like, is Burrow ever going to be healthy for more than a season at a time?
Last year he put out an MVP performance and they missed the playoffs.
For more than a season at a time, man. Like, I'm like, are we going to get to a point where it's the Andrew Luck thing, where we're all of a sudden we're in year like 7, 8, and it's like he's just I'm tired of rehabbing. I'm tired of constantly.
If you're the Jets, what do you offer? You got 5 number ones the next 2 years. What do you offer?
The world, all of them. Why not? Like,
all of them?
Jets. They're gonna offer it for Kyler Murray. So whatever.
Oh,
just depends.
No one is offering.
Frank, just depends what the Madden ratings are. That Woody's just got to check in with his kid for the Madden ratings. And then we'll figure out who the Jets quarterback is.
I'm now disappointed in Frank's mic. That those words made it through to our ears. That is what I'm disappointed in. Turn his microphone.
Kyler Murray to the Jets. Kyler Murray to the Jets. It's going to happen.